I am Winston Choo. I'm most honored to be given this opportunity to share my life story with you. I hope that these little bits of stories and anecdotes that I will give you of some defining moments in my life will help you give a glimpse of the core values that I imbue with my life and the things that govern my leadership journey. Maybe some young ones among you, and also the not so young, can gain some lessons from what I have shared with you and take away some benefits from this. I look forward to you enjoying my stories. To me, the most important values of a leader is firstly duty, a sense of duty that you must have as a leader, and the duty that you must imbue on the people that you lead. Courage and integrity. Courage to take difficult actions, courage to do difficult things, courage to have a sense of integrity. And the most important thing is to value and care for the people you will lead. I was born in 1941, just a couple of months before Singapore fell to the Japanese in 1942. My father, he was very, very strict, but it was good because he helped me to develop discipline. If I go out and play, he said, be back by 7. If I'm not back by 7, there's a sin. If I came back late, automatically I got in the house and put on my head. I knew I would get it. Secondary school, I played more than I studied, I think. I played hockey, I swam, I played rugby. I was the soccer captain for ACF. And also, I joined the Boys Brigade. It was a Christian-based organization, so it gave me a moral compass, a spiritual ballast to my life. But the important thing in my life then was the sense of camaraderie, the sense of being a team. Because of my exposure to sports, games, Boys Brigade, somehow or other the military life attracted me. So I was a cadet for 2 years in the Federation Military College in Port Dickson and Sungai Besi. I was commissioned as a second lieutenant at the age of 20 and came back in 1961 to the 1st Battalion Singapore Infantry Regiment. I was the platoon commander of 30 men. In those days, we had no NS. These were regular soldiers. 85% of them were married. Most of them were older than I was. I was a young bachelor looking after married people with married problems. And the soldiers in those days were, I would say, almost 100%, never finished school. To communicate with them, I should speak both Malay, Hokkien, and a mixture of English. So it's what they say, campur, mixed language. But it was again very challenging, but you learn how to look after people suddenly who are older than you, who had more problems than you have. In 1963, we went to Taiping, where we did anti-communist operations. There were 6 communists in northern Malaysia then. I was made the officer in charge of moving the baggage of the battalion from Singapore to Taiping. So we had to load them into railway baggages, put them on the train to move to Taiping. When we got to Taiping, we found out that a box of rifle magazines were missing. That was very serious because it's part of a weapon. But in the process of the investigation that was going on, the Malaysian police said to us they found by the railway track a box of magazines. And so, therefore, it must have fallen out of the train. Then the point of integrity set in, whether I lie my way out or something. So I decided, no, whatever happens to me, I will take the responsibility. Later on, I found out what happened was the guards opened the door of the wagon because it was too hot. There's no ventilation. And when the train took a bend, the box fell out. So two things came to my mind. I should have considered the comfort of my guards. And the other, I must take the responsibility. So I admitted it was my fault. They gave me a severe reprimand and went to my record. And I remembered the British officer who did the inquiry said to me, "Winston, you screwed up." And I said, "Yes, sir, I screwed up." So that was a tremendous lesson of life and leadership for me. You must have the courage to be honest. Life and death for me was something that after some time, I won't say I was complacent, but I learned to accept. And one incident in Sabah, our soldiers were on patrol in the observation post. They had come back. And a few of them, as part of the relief, went to drink beer and got drunk. And a sergeant mounted his machine gun and wanted to shoot up the signal center. I was the duty officer. I was called up. Then there was the soldier lying on the ground with the machine gun, weapon cocked. I said, "I'm sorry, what are you trying to do?" So he said, "I don't know you. Advance to be recognized." It was dark, so I took a torchlight, a flashlight, shone it on my face, and walked towards him. And then he got ready his weapon again. I said, "Wow, he's going to shoot." I told him, I saw him again. I said, "I am who I am." And he did not answer me. He just held on to his weapon. So I walked nearer and nearer to him. Near enough for me to kick the weapon away. A few rounds went off. It should have been me. I was so frightened. I never been more frightened in my life. But I had the duty to resolve that situation. I can't just go away and hope it doesn't happen. So I had to resolve it, putting my life in danger in the process.
The first time I met him was probably on a hike up Bukit Timah Hill. My uncle, who was in charge of the band in the Boys Brigade, decided to take he and his group of friends on the hike and included my cousin and myself. I was only 12. They were about 13, 14. I don't think there was any special feelings at that time.
The first time we really took a photograph together was this one. Yeah. This one here. She was 13 years old. I was 14 years old. I was very brave. I took a photograph with my arms around her. In those days was no, you can't do that. But we were not dating or anything. It's just that I liked her. I'm not sure whether she liked me then, but I liked her.
What attracted me? He was cute, likable, fun-loving, and very warm and very caring. Even at that time, I think he showed leadership qualities. Plus, forgotten what I was supposed to say.
You don't love me very much, I can't remember.
This is an engagement announcement between Captain Winston Choo, only son of Mr. and Mrs. Choo Keng Ho, and Katherine Choo, only daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Xiao Tiam Kim, on the 5th of June, 1965.
When I came back from Sabah, I had saved enough money to buy an engagement ring. I proposed to her, and we decided to get engaged. And then we had the actual celebrations. First in my father's house, then at night, that evening, we had dinner in her house. This one is the one I like. On the 9th of August 1965, the Sunday dawned on us that we are independent, we are on our own. And before I could settle down with the fact that we are now a Singapore Armed Forces and not a Malaysian Armed Forces anymore, I was summoned to the Istana to be interviewed, to be the aide de camp, the ADC, to the President of the Republic. I think about 4 of us. You must be bachelors. I remembered in my interview with Sheikh Yusof Ishaq, I told him that I was engaged to be married. And he said, no, if I choose you, you will postpone your wedding. And as it turned out, he chose me, and I had to tell him, sorry, we have to postpone our wedding. Sometimes duty takes priority over your likes and dislikes of your personal program. So I went to Istana, and it was a very cultural shock for me. I was a soldier, had always been a soldier. I went down there and found that I had to do things that soldiers don't normally have to do. I had to run the administration of the household, look after the cooks, look after the drivers, the waiters, the stewards, the garden, the whole 99.6 hectares of the land. I was suddenly being charged of civilian, not soldiers anymore. So I had to learn how to handle non-military people. Then I found out the principles are the same. So I must make sure that I abide by the duty that is laid on me. I must value and care for the people I work with and the people I lead. Whether they are soldiers or civilians, it's the same. To me, their welfare, their comfort in working there will decide whether I am a good leader or not. Though Sheikh Yusof was my immediate boss, so to speak, I had also another boss there in the person of Lee Kuan Yew. He was the Prime Minister. And I remember he summoned me and said, we want the Istana to be spick and span, to be better than the Istana Negara in Malaysia. And I looked at him and I said, sir, what do you mean? And he says, we have just broken away from them. Our Istana must be the best, better than theirs. So get it done. I remember this one you asked me, what is the rank of the ADC of the Agron, the Malaysian king? And I said, I know him. He's a lieutenant colonel. So this one you said to him, but you're a captain. We'll make you a lieutenant colonel, he says. You must be the same as him. So I said to him, no, sir. I am 24 years old. My highest command was that of a platoon. And suddenly you want to make me a lieutenant colonel. People will know that I'm only wearing the rank, I am not worthy of the rank. I will be a laughing stock because they know that they don't make lieutenant colonels at the age of 24. And he accepted that and told Yusof, never mind, we just make him a major. But even as a major, at the age of 24, I was much too young for that rank. But I accepted that fact. And it was a very terrifying moment, you know, when I was first briefed by this one you. And that was, again, something that my military training and my sense of duty carried me through. The tour specifies that I'm to be there for 2 years. And I was just settling in and really starting to enjoy myself. Then the PM, this one you called me, he says, Dr. Choo saying she wants you back. He has got a mission for you, and he wants you to do it. He wants you specifically. I think you are better off back in the military than being in Istana pushing chairs. And I was so taken aback. I've been working so hard, you say I only push chairs in Istana. But it was a manner of speech. But in the end I said, sir, I am a soldier. I am duty bound. I will go wherever I'm told to, and I will go back if that's what I'm ordered to do. And I went back. We got married on the 6th of October 1966 at the Register of Marriages. Then in church on the 3rd of December 1966, because I left prematurely, people thought I did something wrong. And from Major, I went back to Captain, because that rank was only good for me in the Istana. So Sheikh Yusuf said, I will do two things. You get married, I will allow my ADCs to form the arch. I have army and police officers forming the arch. And secondly, he gave us a reception in Istana. And so that sort of helped to mitigate the impression that I did something wrong. But the important thing was we got married. 1969, Dr. Choo Sensui called me up. When I worked in the office, she just told me this. I want to make you the Director General Staff. That was then the top job in the SF. So I was taking a glass. I said, me? She said, yes, you. You will be the Director General Staff. But first, this is what I want you to do. And he listed out the various stages that will prepare me for the job. And I remembered I was too shell-shocked, really shell-shocked. I said to him, sir, you know what you have just done? You have shortened my military career. I said, you make me DGS, the topmost appointment in the SF. How long can I be there? 3 years, 4 years, 5 years? I'll be out of the SAF, out of the army at the age of 36. When I joined, I had envisioned being in the army until I retire. He said to me, just do as I tell you to do. It was like a lightning strike on me, But the only thing I said to myself is, that's what you have been told. That's what you will do. You are duty bound, you will do it. And I did all the various stages of training and preparation. Then in May 1974, I was appointed Director General Staff. So obviously, when I was appointed, I would have made lots of people unhappy. And I knew that too, because in the lead up, before I was appointed, in the exercises I was conducting as the commanding officer for the brigade commanders that were overseeing the exercise were seniors to me. And they gave me a tough time. When I was appointed, I said I must put it right with these people that were seniors to me. So I invited all of them to my office. Not all of them came, but most of them did. And I said this to them. I said, I have been appointed the chief as of the 1st of May. I accept the fact that I'm younger and junior to all of you. But I can't help it. I've been appointed. If you are not happy and you want to be appointed, then go and take it up with the authorities. And if they appoint you, I will step aside. But if that does not happen, then you've got to learn to live with me. Well, I'm sure that some of them did not accept it. But I think at least I have settled the issue with them. And that was very hard, but I had to.
When he became CDF, I realized that I had to share him. we found that we had actually very little time with each other. There were times when we found the only time we could actually talk was when we were in the car, going to a function or going home from the function. But quite often, we couldn't even have private conversation in the car because we always had the driver and his staff officer present. So, couldn't really say very much. Initially, I think he used to feel that I've got all these legions of men, got to look after all these men. But somehow he couldn't really get his two kids to line up properly. Well, he also had very little time with the children. So we always looked forward to the weekend because then hopefully he'll have more time. But occasionally he still had official engagements. But he tried his very best to spend as much time with the family.
So people ask me, Singapore, your generals, how many stars? I say only 3 stars. No, we have 4 stars. Where? I say at home. But really, she is more than just a wife. She is a homemaker. She looks after my children and she looks after me. She knows the problems I go through. She knows the challenges of my work. And she tries to take away the things that don't need to worry me. She was a teacher. She loved teaching. But we decided that the children need to be looked after. If I didn't have the time, she must do it. So she decided to stop teaching so that she can raise the family. And that's my 4-star general. I always said that the aim of any armed force is not to fight a war. As the chief of the armed force, your duty is not only to train and prepare the armed forces for war, but also do things that prevent war. And one of it is diplomacy by making friends with the military chiefs in the region. While you want to be friendly with them, they want to see in you also a serious person. That can be a threat to them. It's a fine balance that you must strike. Long after I retired, it was in Guinea Hospital Center. A man came to me and said, "You don't know me, sir. I was a soldier in 4SR with you. You know, sir, you were a bastard. You were very strict and hard on us. But you cared for us. I will go to war with you." And that touched my heart. It really touched my heart. You have been trying your best to be a good leader of men. And to that, a soldier coming to you and say, no matter how hard you treated us, I will respect you and go to war with you. That was the final thing that any commander can expect. I came back from a business trip. 1 week later, I had very high fever. They tested me and found out I had pneumonia. They did a CT scan to see whether I had tuberculosis or some other problems. And that CT scan for pneumonia resulted in them discovering nodes in my thyroid, nodes in my neck, and a tumor on my tongue. If I had not had pneumonia, I would have not known that I had cancer in my body. I went to hospital and had 11 hours of surgery. I had faith in my God. I knew my Lord would be with me. And I refused to be wheeled in to the operation theater. So when I went there, the surgeon says, "You work here?" I said, "Yes. I am working with my God for you." And I don't think I would be alive today having remission of cancer had it not been for the prayers of my friends and family and for God's gift to me. Though I'm alive, I have a problem, sort of radiation, chemotherapy. I can't swallow safely. So I'm fed by tube. I accept the fact this is God's will. It's His will and His faithfulness that I can tell you the stories today. I always have fear. But the fear I have is not physical fear. The fear I have is fear of not achieving my mission. I'm not looking after my men properly. And now, at this stage of my life, the fear of not doing enough for my family. Even though they're all grown up and all that, my fear is that they still need me. Or I like to think that they still need me, and because I like to think that, I fear. Fear of not accomplishing, fear of not being able to do things. It's things that really eat you up. It does eat me up. But not to despair. I try not to get despair. It's a constant work in progress. What keeps me growing is my family. I feel that I'm still useful. I'm still wanted. I'm still relevant. You must have a purpose in your life. Heights by great men, reached and kept, were not attained by sudden flight, but they, while their companions slept, worked tirelessly through the night. I realized that unless you are willing to put an effort, you are willing to work harder than what others are willing to do, you will not achieve what you want to achieve.